Fátima, and I'm talking to you from Newfoundland, Canada. First of all, I want to thank everybody that spent some time with me in my last episode. It was a thrill for my husband and I. We do this together. He films, I do the material. So we were both very happy. Very, very happy. Thank you. I'm very grateful. I think in life, we have to try to be grateful for everything. I'm extremely grateful for all the people that spend time with me. Thank you. This month, we haven't done much because we bought this house. If you are a new viewer, and we got a few new subscribers, so thank you very much. But we live in Ohio, in Ontario for, for 22 years since I came to Canada, and my husband is from Ontario. But last year we decided to move to Newfoundland. So we bought this house that has a beautiful view. It's the view that made us fall for the house, but it needed a lot of TLC. So we are starting to renovate it room by room. And so far we did 2 rooms. We did the guest room / Paula's room, my daughter's, because she's the one that comes most. And we did my wool room that I will show to you at the end of the episode. But we are very happy because we did this. But we didn't travel. We didn't do anything too exciting. I hope my husband has some footage of a day that we went to the supermarket and we saw an eagle. And she was just there, just sitting and looking pretty to be photographed by everybody. So that was pretty cool. And yesterday we went to St. John's, and it had snowed a little bit, and the trees that were bare had this pinkish glow going with the green. It was so beautiful that I asked my husband to film a little bit. Let's see if it works out okay, because it was really beautiful. And I'm very happy, but I'll tell you about why I'm happy a little bit later on. So I don't have any finished projects. I have an almost finished project. That is my Pogona. I am on my last row. I don't think you'll be able to see it because I'm in the middle. I was knitting it. But let me just see here. But I am on the last row, and I'll be binding off once I finish this last row. So this is how it's coming out. I think it was very interesting because my other Pogona, the yarns had a lot of variation, so I didn't have this stripe effect. And I saw Maria João from Pontinhos ao Vento podcast, a Portuguese podcaster, and hers had stripes too. And I said, "Oh, you decided to put stripes? Interesting." And then when I did this, I said, "Oh, now I understand why she had stripes." And I have some here, but by the end, it doesn't look so stripy because the yarns had more variation. So if you don't want the stripe effect on your Pogona, it's totally worth knitting. I love the shawl. Then what you have to do is to choose skeins that have a lot of variation on them. Because I had this blue that was mostly blue with very little variation, and the other one was very bright, light blue. So it gave me the stripes. And if you look at here, the third one is a mix, and it worked well. I think that maybe I should have used the dark blue at the end, but now it's too late. I'm at the end of the shawl. But I love it, and this is going to be for one of my sisters or my sisters-in-law. Next time I go to Brazil, it's not going to be this year. So I'm pretty happy. And this is the kind of knitting that you can do in the car, you can do watching TV. You don't need to think too much. So I do love this shawl. I was just afraid that I wouldn't have enough yarn for the bottom. So when I had like 40 grams left, I decided to start the final. I'm gonna end up adding one row more of pearl. He says to do knit, but knitting a Portuguese style, it's easier to make pearls. So I did pearls, and I have 5 because I started on the wrong side and I was supposed to start on the right side. But I'm okay with that because the more I do here, the less chance it will be to be rolling, and I don't like rolling. So I have 18 grams to finish this row and then start the bind off. But I'm very happy. I think it's pretty. I love the shawl. I don't know if I'll knit another one. I bought material to knit another one, but I don't think I will. But it's beautiful. And it's in my little bag. So it works well for 3 skeins. The shawl is here. Everything is there. And I use my scale. That is a jewelry scale. So it is for up to 1 kilo. I don't know where MeHi bought it, but I like it very much. I use it when I'm dyeing, and I use it for the Pona to see what I have. So the other work in progress that I have, it's not a lot of progress, but I had one more. Let's see. So from the Martin Story blanket, I didn't do much. I did just 3 blocks more of this. So I have a lot to do. It takes me more or less one evening watching TV and knitting it for 1 block. So, but I made 3 more. So it's a little progress, but I have progress. And one of the reasons I don't have a lot of progress is because the MCOW, I end up deciding to do it. I haven't finished it. I have clue 4 to do. I did clue, this is my back. I did clue 1, 2, and 3. I love the effects, but it's almost like a chore because you have a time. The other thing is I got a lot of sock yarn, really sock yarn to do this shawl. And because of that, it doesn't have, it doesn't drape well. So it gets together. And I think that it looks a little bit small. So if you see here, it's almost not crossing. And if you look at Stephen West, it goes around. So I have to do clue 4. And this one, I definitely need to block it to see if it grows a little bit more because it's too small. I was even thinking that maybe to do more rows of the clue 4 to do it. Otherwise, I really like it. I think it's beautiful. I think the red is maybe a little bit too much, but I like it. The only thing really is that I think it didn't grow enough. And I noticed that when I was doing my clue 3, that the pattern was looking very tight. But this is the front, and this is the back of the clue 3, and I really love it, both sides. And because I really love it, and I love this part too, so I start doing the weaving Stephen or Stephen weaving, and it stays like this. So I don't like that very much. So I decided that and here I did the weaving Stephen, and I don't like it because I think the back of the shawl is as pretty as the front. I really love both sides, front and back. Even if you have the little stitches here, I think it's pretty. So I didn't want to ruin it by having this kind of stuff all over my shawl. So I took the time and I wove in all the ends. And as you can see, you don't see the weave in because I wove in the ends instead of doing the weaving Steven. I think it's wonderful. I think I will use that technique for sweaters, and I'm working on some color work, so sweater. So that's going to be great. But for the shawl, that many times you see the bottom part, the back part of it, I thought it was not good. So I'm really hoping that it's going to grow a little bit when I wash it. And I'm thinking that when I put it to dry, I'm going to use one of those hangers that you just put like this so that it falls more, because the weight of the water is going to pull it down. So that's what I'm thinking. That's how I'm thinking of blocking it, because I want it to really go like big. And it's very tight. But it's beautiful. The other thing is, like, this year I was debating if I was going to do the Stephen West shawl, because I know that when you commit to doing it, it's a whole month just for that shawl. Then the first clue came, I didn't like it. I said, okay, I'm not doing it. I'm doing other stuff. But then the first clue was changed and I really liked the effect of it. So I said, okay, I'm doing it. And I think I started when the clue 3 had been shown, or it was almost gone. And clue 1 and 2 I did in 1 week. Then clue 3 took me maybe 2 weeks to do it. And I stopped, took a break. So hopefully by January next year it will be done, because I want to do other stuff in December. And I have a few projects that I need to go through. So really the lesson learned here is that I personally am not into superwash, mainly for sweaters and stuff, because sweaters is what I need most. So I try not to buy a lot of superwash. But if you're doing a shawl, that drape that the superwash gives to the merino is what you need. I think this one, and even this one, because this is Patton's Croy socks. It's 75% wool and 25% nylon. Yeah, I don't think it has. I don't think it is superwash. So anyway, and the other one is sand garn. I don't have the label here, but, and this is Fio da Fazenda, is a Brazilian brand, and I have 5 skeins of the Fios da Fazenda. So, and this is 100% wool, no superwash. So I think the problem here, to do a Stephen West shawl, you need to use or alpaca, only alpaca. That would give you the drapeness that you want and would grow. That's what I wanted. Or you use superwash, because otherwise it's not going to grow, and you want a shawl to be big. The other reason I haven't finished many of my knitings is because I have been doing some spinning. So I had been working on a few fiber. This is all Corriedale that I had dyed long ago, and then I decided to spin it together. So I had like 100 grams of each thing, And I decided that I was going to to spin it and see how I was going to blend. And this is how it turned out. So I have more or less probably 250 grams here. And you need to have in mind that hand spun yarn is thicker than, it's heavier than commercial yarn. So I have less yardage. I don't know how much yardage I have because I never bother checking that. I try always to spin more. I always try to spin for a sweater quantity. But this would be enough for a child sweater if I want to put it together. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. But this is something that I finished, and I'm happy because now I am concerned about reducing my fiber stash. Like I went to the show and I didn't buy any fiber. There was a person selling some bats, and I didn't buy any because I want to spin out what I have. And that's it. And then I have this that I put a picture of on Instagram of the skeins. So when I had the fiber in each bobbin, they were not very pretty, but when I put together, they turn out really nice. So I'm thinking of doing Andrea Maury Night Shift, I think, cow, that I really liked, and use some of this for the cow together with another yarn. So, and I have here definitely at least 300 grams, at least, if not close to 400, because I had a bunch of, I had three, at least 100 grams there, plus a little bit more. So this is something. And I could use this with some of this because they all have the purpley blue that I used. And I was really happy how it turned out because separately I didn't like the colors, but when I blended it together, when I plied it together, it turned out really nice. They are all 3-plies. I like 3-plies. I think this was Navajo plying or cable plying because I had only one. But it's still the... Oh, and this is the other learning process because I notice when I do Navajo ply, I tend to put more twist on the final yarn. So I was working with my electric spinning wheel, and that was the best investment I did to buy my, I forgot the name, Jensen, I think. And then I just reduced the spin, the twist, and it turned out really nice. And it goes well with my 3-plies. So normally I prefer to do 3-ply yarns, but because I had just one bobbin of this, I used that. This is my Cotswold. It was a fiber that I bought in my guild from somebody that was reducing their stash. And Cotswold is a long wool ship, but this thing here was not long at all. And what I think is when you are combing, you have a lot of leftover. And what they did is they put the leftover in the skein. And they put the leftover in a woven for you to spin. So you had fiber that was this big, smaller, a little bit bigger, but it was definitely left over. So I don't think this is good for socks. That was my initial idea to make socks. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to dye them in different colors to do color work, mittens or gloves. So it is not, normally Cotswold is not soft, but it's not that bad soft-wise. It's kind of okay. But I have almost 500 grams here. I think I had 2 half pounds. So maybe 400 grams of yarn. I don't know. I haven't weighed it. So this I'm going to dye different colors to use for mittens, because mittens is something that even if it's a little bit harsh, and here it's not harsh at all. I can put it on my face. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Then after that, I start spinning this fiber that I dyed last year before we moved. So this was dyed probably in August 2022. And what I did is I have mixed merino with a little bit of a gray alpaca that my friend Michelle had given me, and some silk. This is the silk part of it. So I had the blue, I had this yellowish orange. I was just trying to mix up stuff, and I have this that has a lot of green in it. So, and I had the blue. The blue, I even put a little bit of mohair that I had dyed, that I bought. I bought a bag of mohair and I dyed some red and some blue. So I have this. And the first one that I was spinning was the blue, and I thought, oh, okay. It's pretty, but it's too bright a blue. So when I finish plying them, I will over dye with maybe some black just to get a darker blue. But then I start spinning, this one. And I thought, how beautiful are they together? They are beautiful. Then I noticed that, unfortunately, my yarn, when I was dyeing, was not all this. I had some of this. So now I'm not sure, because you see, this is much more yellowy than this. This turned out more to the orange, even though it's the same fiber, like it's the same merino yellow that I have dyed. I had merino yellow, merino red, and then I added the gray alpaca and the silk. So the color here is more silk. I think I put more silk in this gray. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. Like the blue, I'm going to do it just blue. But here, I don't know if I will blend it together and get a different color with more, and it's going to be a 3-ply. So I'm not 100% sure what I should do. And the other thing is, if you see, I didn't divide the fiber very well. I just spun it. And so obviously the quantities are this is going to end earlier. So normally I pass it from one bobbin to another to do the most that I can. Or I could do a Navajo ply or chain plying on this. But if I do a chain plying on this, I should do a chain plying on this too. And I'm not sure about these two colors. And I have more fiber of this than I have of this. I still have something that I could do another bobbin of this. And I think I would probably have 2 bobbins more of this. But then what do I do with the final yarn? So I even thought that I could spin a bobbin that would have parts of this and parts of this, so that when I do my final bobbin, I would have a mix of the third color that would be added here. I'm not sure. I really am not sure at this moment. So I have to spin some more to see how much more I have left. I even thought about that I could maybe add some red, because this is beautiful, isn't it? I just don't know. But I could add some red to the mix and see how it would come. But it's very soft. And the thing is, I spun this probably in August 2022. And with the move, everything was put into boxes and stuff. So what I noticed is some of the blue fiber, not so much the rest, was compacted. And this is a problem when you prepare a yarn and leave it too long without working on it. It compacts itself. The compact can be caused by when you have it in a plastic box mainly. It's going to sweat, and that's going to make it compact a little bit because it cannot breathe, right? So it's like when you are in a trailer and you sleep during the night, and when you wake up in the morning, you have condensation all over the trailer. It's the same thing that happens with the wool. And if it's not too bad, if you go through a carder again, it will work fine. But I didn't want to go through a carder again with this because it would blend the colors too much. So I took my chances and I spun it anyway, the way it was going through. So I have to put this back in my big bag that my husband made me. And this is what I'm working now on spinning to do. So I think work-wise, it's all I have. Then I have to do just a little bit of purchases. The only thing that I have, my husband bought for me this big pot. I had a big pot like this in Ontario, but when you're moving from Ontario to Newfoundland, you have to be very careful with what you bring. And I didn't bring my pot, my big pot, so he bought me a new one. And this is great because I can dye for my rugs and everything. So this is going to be really useful. It's not going to stay here in this room. It's going to stay downstairs. But I left it here just as something that we acquired this month. So now what I want to do is just to show you how my wool room is right now. So acquisitions, right? We went to the festival in Prince Edward Island last month, and on the way back we stopped at IKEA, and we had our trailer full of stuff and full of things. We bought our whole new kitchen that it's not going to be assembled so soon because we have to finish the floor and other stuff. But I bought this table that I like very, very much because the lid comes out, and I put all my project bags in here that are being used and the ones that are not used. So everything is here. And we bought two Billy, what are they? Bookshelves. And it's so beautiful. So in this part here, I put all my commercial yarns. Some were dyed by me, and some books. I still have books somewhere that we didn't have place to put. That's the problem. This is a bigger house than we had, but storage-wise, it was not as good as my other house. So I have now two. This is for my commercial yarn. I don't know if it's gonna fit in January, everything. I have my cross stitch stuff here. Some of my tools. Then I have all this with fiber that I really feel like I need to go through and I need to spin and get stuff done from this yarn. I have more fiber on the top part on the heads, and here is what I have hand spun that is more yardage, because I have all these baskets. I bought this in IKEA. So this basket, and if you see, I have 3 more baskets here. 1, 2, 3. This my sister Vera gave me the basket. I love the basket. It's very beautiful. This one, my sister-in-law Inez gave me the basket. Is from Brazil. I brought it last time I went there, and it's full. And that's a basket that I had also full of little bits of hand spun yarn that I have been spinning since 2007. I went to IKEA at the show during my class at the festival. One person showed me her bag that she bought at IKEA. So I bought 2, but I bought for fiber. So my merino is here. And then everything else there is Corriedale. And I'm hoping this is going to reduce fast because I have my loom downstairs assembled and ready to start working. The only problem is that the only problem is that we bought a lot of wood for the floor, and the wood is all there, so I'm not having a lot of space to do. So this year I got this advent calendar that is for stitch markers, and it's done by a Canadian. It's fireflynotesonline.com. So she's from British Columbia, and she makes them, and I bought it through Fleece and Harmony, and it's all about fairies. So I'm excited about this. I bought this a few months ago, but I didn't open because it's an advent calendar. And I used to do advent calendars for my kids when they were small, that they would get a gift every day. And this year I was thinking about doing the advent calendar, to buy one yarn advent calendar, and I was thinking, what am I going to do with all those little skeins? What if the colors are not what I like? So instead I said, you know what, I'm going to make myself an advent calendar. And my husband got into the idea, and he decided, okay, but then I'll do it for you. I said, all right, but we have to do in a way that I get things that I like. So what I did is I told him some books that I wanted. Then I gave him, I said, I want stitch markers because I don't know where the stitch markers go. I have a bunch that I lost, and it's very unfortunate. And some of them I fell on the chair that I normally sit and watch TV. And I flipped the chair, I took everything out, and I couldn't find the stitch marker. So I don't know where they go. I really don't know where they go. They disappear. So I said, oh, I want some stitch markers. And I said, you just have to Google stitch markers and you get some. And then we started on some yarns. So I'm very, very happy. And the reason I'm very, very happy is that yesterday we went to St. John's just to buy some yarn. So one yarn is one day gift is sweater quantity of yarn that he chose for me to do him a sweater. So we went for this new shop in St. John's, Newfoundland. I think it's Craft. Yeah, it's so bad I forgot the name of the store. I think it's a Stitch Craft, and And they have beautiful yarn there. They have they're starting small, but it's really nice. They have yarn for olive, and then they have some Icelandic lopi yarn. And I wanted to get, but the patterns that I had didn't use the two sizes, the two weights that they have there. But the cool thing is that I went there. I saw a pattern that my husband liked, and I said, I need this amount. And I'm not so sure right now because I watched the fruit kneading, and I think I got the thicker yarn that is almost an Aran, and it should be a fingering, because I thought that their fingering was too thin. Anyway, so we see how I'm going to do it. But I might have leftover, but leftover is never a problem. And then he chose the color, but he didn't show me. So that's going to be a little bit of surprise. Then I went to my other wool store, Yarn Trends, and then I normally don't like rustic yarn, but I wanted to do, let me just see here. I wanted to work on the book that I bought, and it's not here. I wanted to work on the, I bought a book from, oh, it's here, Mary Wallen, and I wanted to knit this pattern. And this pattern is on Jameson of Shetland Spindrift. And I bought some of this yarn, and I think it's too rustic for me. But I thought I really want to do this. It's let me see if I have it bigger. Probably do. It is a sweater that it's an out garment, so it would be okay if it's rustic, if it's not that nice and soft. But then I went to this store, and Wool Trends have a lot of Briggs and Little, and Briggs and Little is most of their yarns. They are a little bit coarse, right? And that's why I don't use their yarn very much. But I said, okay, it is rustic, but the Jameson Smith is very rustic, and I think it's more rustic than the sport weight yarn that I bought from Briggs and Little. And I checked the two yarns together, and I think it will work fine. And more than that, there was a special offer. You buy 4 and you get 1 free. So, and the other thing is that, like last time I bought a Jameson Smith yarn here in Canada, I think I paid $9 for a 25-gram ball. And then the Briggs and Little was $7.75. You have taxes on both, for 100-grain skein. So I will not only be able to do that pattern, but I will be able to do many other patterns, because, you know, many of the colors, they want only one. But anyway, so my husband got excited about the advent calendar, and he made this for for the 24 days. I think it's going a little bit overboard, but you know, the more the merrier. I'm grateful. I'm very, very grateful. Yeah. The room is not finished yet. We bought the curtains, but we have to put the curtains. This room had a wall that came up to here, and instead we put 2 closets, one for me here and one for him in our bedroom. So we have a more practical use of this room. And we also want to put some pictures up and stuff that will just happen next year now, because this occupies a lot of the room. But it's cool, and I hope you will join me for you to see each day what I got from him. So many of the things I know because was there and I bought it, but still, it's going to be very nice to see what I get on which day. So I don't know how he's going to put everything in here, but he made the advent calendar for me. So it's kind of cool. It's really cool. I think that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for coming. Thank you for subscribing, and hope to see you soon. Big kiss. Bye bye.